today's video, you're going to learn how to start a conversation with anyone, with any random girl that you see walking by, any random girl on the street, and how to break the ice instantly. And apart from that, I'm also going to share my personal conversation starter, which has always worked. It has a 95% success rate towards the end. So watch the video till the end, and if you like this kind of content, hit the like button and the subscribe button right next to it. So whether it's a situation at a bar where you're out at a bar with your buddy and you see that beautiful girl, you want to approach her but there's nothing coming to your mind, or whether it's in the daytime when you see two beautiful girls walking by and you want to talk to them but you really don't know what to say. So whatever the situation might be, after watching this video, you will be well equipped with all the knowledge that you need to go out there, initiate a conversation with any stranger, and not only that, you can skip the small talk phase and you can directly connect on a much deeper level with just the level of conversations that you're having with them. And for that reason, I've broken down some of my hidden camera footage. I've literally broken down my hidden camera footage and I've found out some of the more non-threatening ways of approaching women where they're more reciprocative towards your approach. And guys, I don't want you to focus on the words being said, because most of the guys who are watching infields, including yourself, when you're watching infields, you're just focusing on, oh, what am I saying? How am I talking to the girl? But the thing that you fail to realize is that it's not going to work for you. And most of you who watch infields try to copy the exact same words when you're going out in the field talking to a beautiful girl. And the reason it does not work is because it's not congruent to who you are as a person. You're pretending to be someone who you're not. You're not authentic to yourself. And the girl feels that. The girl figures that out and she sees that and she rejects you. So do not try to copy the words, but I want you to focus on the principles instead of the techniques of what really makes these conversation starters work. And that's what I want you to focus on with these conversation starters. Now, the first one is the observation opener. Now, the observational opener is pretty simple. You're walking out during the day, you see a girl and you observe what she's wearing or how she's looking, her appearance, and you walk up to her and you make an observational compliment. You compliment her based on what she's wearing or what her appearance is like. Now, what I've realized is, whatever the girl is wearing, it really doesn't matter. The compliment itself doesn't matter. But what matters is how you say it. All right. Now, for example, if I come up to you and I'm like, hey man, that's a nice shirt, you won't feel much, all right? You won't feel engaged, you won't feel interested in listening to me. But if I come up to you and I'm like, hey bro, that's an amazing shirt, it matches with your pant, where did you get your shirt from? I want to buy the same one, it's pretty interesting, I didn't find anything like this. Now that is going to actually engage you in a conversation. It's going to make you feel like, oh, this guy is actually giving me a genuine compliment, all right? This guy is actually interested in talking to me. And that is what is missing from most of the guys' conversation starters, because most of the guys, when they try to start a conversation, it's very bland. It's like, hey, I just saw you, what's your name, right? And what you need is not the compliment itself, but the vibe behind the compliment. You really need to feel the compliment. You really need to make the other person feel that, okay, you actually want to talk to them instead of, you're doing some tasks. So whenever you're trying to talk to someone, always have this in your mind. This is the principle that I was talking about. Always have this in your mind that you actually want to get to know the other person, and it's not just some series of tasks that you're performing. The next one I'd like to talk about is the direct opener. And the direct opener is basically when you walk up to a girl and you tell her, hey, listen, I saw you and I want to say hi to you because, I'm attracted to you. So basically, a direct opener is when you're showing your intent to the girl. You're showing sexual intent to the girl, that you're actually romantically interested in her, and that is why you're approaching her. I want to show you an example to break it down for you.
Bro, excuse me. 2 seconds. Hello, Arnav. What's your name? I'm so sorry, I know. It's kind of awkward, just a random guy just coming saying hi to you. Hello, Arnav.
Hi.
Now, if you want to improve your dating life and if you want to work with us and you want to see if you're the right fit to work together, I would strongly suggest that you watch this masterclass that I've created for you, and it's a completely free masterclass. This will show you the kind of results that our clients get. And apart from that, this will also show you the process that we follow with the clients to get them mind-blowing results beyond their wildest imagination. Now, in this case, when I approach these two girls, it's very evident why I'm going there, because I'm very direct with the girl that I'm talking to. Hey, I saw you and you seem kind of cute. I wanted to say hi. Now again, guys, instead of just focusing on the words, you need to focus on the vibe. You need to focus on the subconscious communication, which is how am I feeling, all right? I'm going in towards the approach and I'm taking a step back as well. Because once you're doing the approach, you're putting some social pressure on the girl. And of course, in this case, she's with a friend. And that's why as I'm putting some pressure, I'm also taking a step back. I'm engaging with a friend. And that's what you need to do. If you're approaching two girls together, never neglect her friend completely. Alright, so I'm engaging her friend, I'm acknowledging the fact that she's over there, because if I don't, then her friend is going to pull her away. Now, another good way of initiating a conversation with a girl is going in an indirect way. Now, an indirect way, and this is probably the most misunderstood way of approaching in terms of approaching women, because what most guys think when it comes to indirect approaches is basically walking up to a girl and you're just asking her some good eating places or good food joints around there, but that's not how indirect approaches are done. Even with the indirect approach, now guys, I want you to really focus on this, Because even with the indirect approach, you have to be very direct with your subconscious communication. And what I mean is, if you go up to a girl and you're like, hey, excuse me, do you know any McDonald's around here? That's not an indirect approach. That's you just asking directions, all right? What you need to do is you need to have really strong non-verbal communication, deep laser eye contact, playing with your facial expressions. You need to be a little playful, because or else, you know, a lot of guys, and I've seen this with a lot of beginners, a lot of people who have taken boot camps from me as well, that they go up to the girl, they ask her directions, and they end up walking towards that direction. And that's not game. And that's not game. And that's literally not what you should do. And if you're doing that, stop that right now, because you are just asking for directions. You're probably mentally masturbating that, hey, I'm learning some pickup, I'm learning some social skills. But at the end of the day, when she gives you the direction, you just walk by. Because at the end of the day, you don't have any balls to show your intent. And because you don't show your intent, you're unable to carry the conversation forward. So guys, understand, indirect approach is not just going up to the girl and asking her good places to eat around there. But you have to be very direct with your subconscious communication, your laser eye contact. Be playful with it, because the girl should literally feel it that, okay, this guy actually is interested in me, and it should be a man to woman conversation, even if it is indirect. Let me show you what I mean by that. Hey, excuse me, do you know any good eating places around here? I'm trying to eat healthy these days. Are you sure? Why don't I trust you? You seem like a fun person. What's your name? And now this is how an indirect approach would go, instead of just being indirect and just, you know, not being able to throw your intent. Now let me show you an example of an indirect approach so that you get it better.
Are you guys from Bangalore? We're not from Bangalore. I'm so sorry. Don't be scared.
We're from Mumbai. So finally, like, yeah, we've had it a lot. She hates me already.
We're searching for a good place to go for an after party.
No idea, personally.
Are you from Bangalore? Where are you from?
Now, I don't want you to get confused, alright? These are the 3 ways you can initiate a conversation with any girl at any situation. But I want to give you my step-by-step method to make it work for you. I want you to focus on little steps when you're starting, alright? Little steps when you're beginning, because anything that takes you forward is really good. So what I want you to focus on is walking towards the girl as soon as you see a girl, approaching her in the least amount of time possible, because you don't want to give time to your mind to think about negative excuses, alright? And this happens when you're starting out something new, because of course there's a lot of fear of the unknown. There's a lot of fear of jumping in the unknown, getting rejected, fear of getting judged. So what I want you to do is, as soon as you see a girl, walk towards her and say, hey, my name is Arnav. And of course, in this case, use your own name when you're talking to a girl. Hey, my name is this. And then it's a split-second decision that you have to take, whether you want to take it direct, whether you want to take it indirect. Because as soon as I approach the girl, I look at her face, I observe her. And if there's even a little bit of discomfort, I'll try going indirect. I'll take a step back, I'll try going indirect. If I see a little bit of an interest from the girl's side, then I'll start going direct, because why waste time? And in case, you know, the girl is a little confused, she's a little startled, then I'll start with an opinion opener. So this is what I generally follow when I'm going out and approaching girls, and this is something that can help you out. But I don't really follow brothing for a reason, because we dive deeper into these concepts. So hit the subscribe button and the bell button right next to it, because what I'm going to tell you next is going to change the way you look at approaching. I want to talk about the principles that make a conversation starter work. So first of all, ask for the least amount of compliance when you're going to initiate a conversation with a random person. What I mean by this, if a girl is walking like this and you're walking in front of her, I don't want you to approach her from behind, because that literally means that she has to turn around and she has to talk to you. That's a lot of compliance for someone she doesn't know. Instead, she'd prefer walking forward. Alright, so if a girl is walking like this, I would suggest you walk a little bit in front of her and approach her over the shoulder, so she just has to turn like this and talk to you. Because this is how you ask for least amount of compliance initially. And with compliance, you got to know one thing: you got to stack up the compliance as you're building comfort with her. So always think about this whenever you're approaching a girl. What would be the least amount of compliance in this particular scenario? Now, the second thing is, do not try to suppress your emotions. Do not try to suppress the kind of emotions you're feeling, because I see a lot of guys doing this. As soon as they're approaching, they try to be cocky, because maybe you've seen, you know, girls love an asshole, girls like an asshole, and you're trying to be an asshole. You're pretending to be someone who you're not. And this is what happens when people copy my lines from the footage, because it's not the lines that is actually working, but it's how I'm feeling, the vibe behind it. Alright, so do not try to pretend to be someone who you're not. If you're feeling nervous, if you're feeling anxious, go up and share that with the girl. Alright, just be like, hey, listen, kind of nervous approaching you, I don't know really why. And what will happen immediately is your confidence will boost up, because now you don't have anything to hide. Now you've shown her everything, you're vulnerable in front of her, and you actually don't have anything to hide. So it will give you a boost of confidence. And apart from that, the girl will also feel that this guy is more authentic, and she'll be more open to talk to you. Also, when you're approaching a girl, I want you to have a clear communication. What I mean by clear communication is, most of the times, the girl is not even able to hear the guys who are approaching her. And that is why she's rejecting them. Because it's too much effort for her to actually stand there and listen to you and try to make sense out of what you're saying. And why this happens is because a lot of guys are just going there and they're trying to be overconfident, and they're feeling really nervous, and they're trying to be cocky. But when you're trying to do all of this, when you're talking to the girl, either you talk extremely fast or either you talk extremely slow or either you talk in an extremely low volume. And when this happens, the girl will not be able to hear you and she will automatically reject you. It's not because of who you are, it's not because of how your approach is, but it's because of your verbal communication or your voice tonality. Also, when you're approaching her, try to have a little smile on your face because that goes a long way. When you're approaching her, if you're feeling uncomfortable, that kind of emotion can get transferred to the girl. And if you have a smile on your face and you're approaching her, that makes you more trustworthy, that builds instant comfort as well, because then the state that is transferred is of positivity and comfort. Another thing most men do wrong when they're approaching a woman is, as soon as they approach her, they invade her personal space. Now, never do that. And what I mean by that is when the girl is walking towards you and you want to approach her from a distance instead of just walking really close to her and approaching her. And this generally happens when you are in your head thinking about, you're getting nervous, you're thinking about what the crowd is thinking, what the girl is thinking, and you don't even realize what you've done. You don't even realize that now you've entered her personal space and now she sees you as a threat. So that is very important that you approach her from, a little bit of distance where she knows what is coming to her. She knows what to expect. Now, once you do approach her, instead of being all scared, instead of thinking about the future, the past, instead of thinking how many people are judging you, I want you to focus in the present moment. I want you to enjoy her feminine presence, enjoy having that conversation with her. And guys, a concept that really helped me with this thing was that I'm doing approaches for my own self. I'm improving myself with each and every approach. I'm not doing it for the woman, because if you're doing this for the woman, what will happen is a lot of times you'll have a lot to lose. And if you have a lot to lose, you'll have a lot of fear. Whether it's the fear of the future, what is going to happen, are you going to impress her, is she going to give you the number? And all of this is going to stop you from really enjoying the present moment, which in turn will make your approach fail, because if the girl feels that you're not enjoying the conversation, if the girl feels that you're uncomfortable, if the girl feels that you don't really have a desire to get to know her, she's going to reject you. Now, as I promised you, I'm also going to give you my personal favorite conversation starter, which is basically, hey, it's Arnav. I say this and then I observe the girl, alright? I look at the girl, I observe her, and I see whether she's going through any emotions, if she's going through any discomfort. I look at her facial expressions. If she's going through any discomfort, then I will not go direct, guys, alright? I'll not go direct, because going direct is putting more pressure. I'll take a step back and then I'll go indirect, but I'll still have extremely direct subconscious communication. And if I feel there's no discomfort, instead, if I feel that the girl is comfortable in talking to me, if I feel the girl is investing, then I'll straight away go direct. Alright, it's a split-second decision. I'm not thinking before even approaching the girl, what am I going to do? Because if I do that, then I'm probably never going to approach the girl. And that is the difference between a beginner and a guy who's a little advanced, because a beginner is thinking about all of these things even before approaching the girl. And that is where you're messing up the most, because as you're looking at the girl, she knows that you're going to approach her, alright? Maybe she has seen you by the peripheral vision, maybe she has seen you looking at her. The more time you take, the probability increases of your approach failing, because the girl will start feeling, nervous as well. She'll start feeling, oh, why is this guy constantly looking at me? What does he want from me? And the more she thinks about you before you approach her, the worse it is for you, the worse it is for your approach. So do not do that mistake. And this is the best opener, guys. Just go over there, say your name, and then figure out which way you want to go to. Whether you want to go direct, indirect, whether you want to go with an opinion opener. And understand, do not put so much importance on all of these little things, because none of this matters. What matters is the end result. And the end result should be whether you want to take her out on a date, whether you're able to take her number and able to set the date, or whether you're able to take her home then and there. Now, if you want to improve your dating life and if you want to work with us and you want to see if you're the right fit to work together, I would strongly suggest that you watch this masterclass that I've created for you, and it's a completely free masterclass. This will show you the kind of results that our clients get, and apart from that, this will also show you the process that we follow with the clients to get them mind-blowing results beyond their wildest imaginations.